God morgon från Paretodesken måndagen den 22 november. Blandad handel på Wall Street i fredags. Energi och financials var svagaste sektorerna. S&P 500 stängde på minus 0,1. Nasdaq plus 0,4%. Så Nasdaq höll sig alltså på plus och stängde på nya höga nivåer. Europabörserna påverkades negativt av ny virusoro då flera länder börjar införa nya restriktioner igen. Där ska vi prata med Harry Colvin på Longview Economics. Good morning, Harry. New virus concerns put pressure on European markets. What's your view on all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think actually equity markets are holding up very well. And actually, if you look in the US, a lot of the headline indices have been breaking out to the upside. They've been consolidating for the past couple of weeks or so, and now they're moving higher. So the S&P moved above the top end of its sort of 2-week trading range. The Nasdaq, you may have seen, made a new high on Friday. I think all of that is very encouraging price action, and especially given, as you say, worries about the virus. We had Clarida on Friday as well, talking about the possibility the Fed may speed up its tapering process. So there are lots of things to worry about, as always, but I think the price action has been really very resilient.
And what is the biggest concern about inflation and rate hikes?
Yeah, I mean, the main concern is that inflation's not transitory, that it's persistent, that central banks are behind the curve, and that they're going to have to respond very quickly to scramble and catch up to tighten up policy. And when they do that, you know, there's a big impact on growth. And that's typically the kind of environments historically we've seen recession risks go up as well. When the Fed significantly tighten, when they quickly tighten, that's when policy mistakes happen. That's when they over tighten. So that's the main concern.
How likely is it to occur in the next 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got some time to go. You know, Powell's been very clear that what he wants to do is push up the participation rate in America. He doesn't want to respond to the kind of inflation we're seeing now. He wants to see what I call Phillips curve type inflation. So he wants to see strong wages, which are resulting from a tight labour market. Now, we've got quite strong wages currently, but we don't really have a tight labour market. Participation is still very low. And he was pretty clear at the last press conference that he wants to push that up, and he's going to be leaning towards a dovish bias as he pushes policy forward over the next 6 months. Of course, he may be replaced by Brainard. She'll probably have a similar kind of policy approach as to him. They want to keep monetary policy loose to support the labour market. That seems to be their main goal. So we're not too worried for now. I think at the moment we've got a very strong backdrop for equity markets, plentiful liquidity, very strong earnings growth, a robust economic growth outlook as well. So I think the setup is very good for equity markets, particularly in the US, but also globally going forward over the next 6 to 12 months.
Thank you, Harry. Här under morgonen så har vi fått en del nyheter. Bland annat så köper Ericsson Vonage, en global leverantör av målbaserad kommunikation, för $6,2 miljarder. Och så har Sandvik annonserat att de kommer köpa upp ett bolag. Ja, där får vi prata vidare med Anders Roslund så längre fram. För nu ska vi prata xSpray med Dan Akschuti. Vi har tagit upp bevakning av bolaget Idag. Berätta lite kort vad xSpray gör.
xSpray Pharma is developing improved drugs, so they work on existing drugs and improve them in multiple ways. And with that, they're also circumventing secondary patents of these marketed drugs and have kind of a semi-exclusivity when they reach the market where generic companies cannot enter yet. So they have currently 2 lead programs. One has been submitted just last week to the US FDA, but we also see some challenges that are remaining for the company, and that is establishing a clear commercial strategy and communicating that, as well as we expect that there is a good possibility that BMS, the pharma company where the lead drug is kind of from xSpray improving, that this pharma company will possibly start litigations around end of Q1 next year against xSpray due to claiming patent infringement. At the same time, our patent due diligence that we did revealed that xSpray is indeed circumventing these patents. Be it as it may, it can always there's always a risk, of course, and the litigations might start anyways because the pharma company just tries to delay such a competitor. In a blue sky scenario, maybe BMS even partners with xSpray, and that would be of course great.
Men när ett läkemedelsbolag kommer ut med en ny förbättrad eller ny generika så brukar väl originalläkemedelsbolaget stämma dem?
Ja, det är ganska vanligt. So that happens basically all the time. And it's different for a generic because the generic is indeed the same. So if they would try to file now for approval where a patent is still active until 26 for the lead drug, of course they can not enter the market. So the BMS will 100% sue them and has sued such companies. So there has been some that have submitted their ANDA application for a generic drug, and they have been sued. But in xSpray's case, it's different. So they're actually circumventing the patent according to what we have observed. And there it will be more a delay tactic. So even if they choose to partner with xSpray, I think it's still likely that they first sue, so they have still both options. Because if they don't sue after 45 days after receiving a notice from xSpray, which will occur as soon as the US FDA accepts their new drug application that they submitted last week, then that is kind of an option that they lost if they don't sue.
Och det var ju, det hände ju lite grejer i somras, eller snarare tidig höst, sen höst, när deras ena väg failade.
Yeah, exactly. So the company, so if we look at the stock, we can also see like three times where it dropped quite a lot at once, and that is since last year as well. And that is when the company still tried to produce a generic with their technology that is actually producing a different version. So that didn't work out, and the company started working also on an improved version that is sought to be submitted as improved version, and this has succeeded in the first trial, and that is the data that we got in July already, where you can also see a little positive spike on the share price. And that is the data that the company now also submitted for approval, and this is the way forward for the company, also for the upcoming products.
Så de hade 2 patterns först på den här lead drug då, men sen så valde de att gå vidare bara med den förbättrade vägen.
Exactly, so that's now the path forward.
Exakt. Och jag intervjuade Per Andersson ganska nyligen, så jag kan länka till den intervjun där här nere, så kan ni få lyssna mer om det här bolaget. Men vi kan väl säga att vi tar upp bolaget med en köprekommendation.
Yes, so we have a buy recommendation of 97 SEK target price for now. It's very conservative, but that is because of the challenges that we see that remain. If the company manages to succeed with both lead assets, we see an upside in our base case to 314 SEK fully diluted, assuming further dilutions.
Upprepa igen där. När kan vi se som triggers eller som news flow?
So there can always be surprises now in terms of partnership deals. So I think that's something where the company is actively working on. Other news flow will be that the US FDA accepts their application that they submitted last week, and probably around January. And then xSpray will have to file this paragraph 4 filing, this letter to BMS, and then probably there is a chance of, as mentioned, the litigation starting end of Q1. And then we hope that the company can clear that until end of next year. And at the same time, when they get approval and maybe enter the market in 23 already with the drug. But we were very conservative in our estimates for the valuation and also the target price. And there we assumed only that they will enter in the beginning of 24 with the lead drug and then Q4 with the second drug. And that is assuming a bit a longer litigation process time.
Tack så mycket. Tack så mycket för att ni har lyssnat. Ha en trevlig måndag och en bra vecka.